my best friend. When Tia lost all of her hair during her cancer fight, Cambria, with no hesitation, let me cut her hair. Can you guys, isn't that crazy? Crazy, right? Cambria is my niece and best friend. She helped me keep my dance studio open while I was going through cancer. There was times where she would come up here and run classes for me. She lives in St. George, and she would come up here just to help me run classes, camps. Her heart is just amazing. She's helped spread this mission as well, my Dance for a Cause mission, through the last, forever, because I'm her aunt, so, since she was in the womb, so. And she's a huge part of my life, and a huge part of, she touches everybody that she comes in contact with. So, give it up, stand up! And we were taught that aloha and talofa spirit by two amazing people who she called Mom and Dad, and I called Grandma and Grandpa. And you heard I mentioned talofa. That was my grandma. Aloha was my grandpa, and talofa was my grandma. And she'd always add the and talofa after everything, and it was so sweet.
And hello.
And hello. Yeah, she added the hello too. We'll save that for the next one. But you guys all know what aloha means. Tia has well equipped us all with what aloha means. We were all on those lives every single night, her YouTube lives, every single night, where she closed it out with an aloha. So, let's say it all together. Aloha means hello, goodbye, and I love you. But do you guys know what talofa means? Talofa is the Samoan greeting for hello. But just like aloha, it has such a deeper meaning. When you say, I needed to read this part because I don't speak Samoan, and I got it, this is official, okay, so you're really learning. So, the official government website of American Samoa says that talofa is short for Si'ata Alofa Atu, which means I am happy and delighted to give you my love. When you respond back with a talofa lava, you are reciprocating with a full grant of your love and affection. So those two paired together, taught to us by two people that brought us here, right? Without my grandparents, I wouldn't have such a strong foundation what I'm talking about today. Without my grandparents, I wouldn't have my mom. And without my mom, I wouldn't have a lot of these. I wouldn't be here, right? And I tried to get all my tears out before, so I apologize if I cried today, but this is a beautiful day that I have prayed for with full heart, with full spirit, with full body, everything. So to be here, it's incredible. But Tia asked me, and I want you to remember that definition of talofa for when I come back at the very end. So again, it means I am happy and delighted to give you my love. So Tia asked me to speak today, and I'm like, oh,
would ask me. Because you've seen her speak, right? She's captivating. She draws you in. And I love listening to her speak. But I knew that I wanted to speak for this. And so she gave me the topic of becoming faithful through hard times. What? What? Does anyone else think that's a hard topic? Or is that just me? No, becoming faithful through hard times. What is faith? How do you fill yourself with it, especially when you're in such hard times? And because we're talking about becoming, I knew I had to take you through my journey of becoming faithful through hard times. So I know faith is one of those things where people either love to hear about it or they don't. But I hope you'll keep an open heart and an open mind and open everything to what I'm going to share today. And it's just my own experiences. So, my family, I grew up with lots and lots of amazing examples of faith. My grandpa, he always came up with acronyms, and it's trickled down through my uncles. And when I was preparing this talk, I asked for help from Heavenly Father, of course, but from my grandparents. And I kid you not, they jumped in my body. They jumped at this opportunity to speak here. So a lot of what I have to say is not me, okay? But I came up with an acronym with my experiences of how I came to find faith in those hard times. So F is for feelings. And I chose the fun because, this covers the whole range of feelings, right? Good and bad. So F is for feelings. Do we have any 14-year-olds in the house? Raise your hand. Stand up. Let me see. Yes, stand up. Be proud. I want you to picture my face as a youthful 14-year-old. Yes. When I was 14, as you can imagine, lots of hormones, lots of new experiences, lots of stuff, right? When I was 14, I had two best friends. We did everything together. We were inseparable. I kid you not, Friday was the best day ever. We went home from school with them. We got ready for the football games, used all her mom's Paul Mitchell hairspray. We would do, and then we'd have sleepover after. We were inseparable. But things changed, and I didn't understand this as a 14-year-old. Our paths changed, and I was no longer part of this best friend group. I was heartbroken. It felt like the end of the world. I was experiencing feelings that I had never experienced before. And at 14, I had great examples. My parents, my grandparents, my Auntie Tia. I had great examples all around me. I had a thought pop in my head. There's someone who knows exactly how you feel. You should try praying. So at 14, I knelt down not for the first time ever, but I knelt down and I said a prayer out loud for the first time ever. After my prayer, I felt a big warm hug around me. And I knew that my feelings were valid, that he understood. He knew. He felt that, and that I wasn't alone. F is for feelings. Your feelings can bring you to faith. Faith is not a feeling, but your feelings can bring you to faith. Good and bad. Good and bad. A. This is known as a trigger finger, right? A is for action. Yeah? A is for action. Where are my 21-year-olds? 21-year-olds. Any 20? Oh! Hey! Two? Yeah! Okay, thank you. Now picture my face as a youthful 21-year-old. At 21, I was a newlywed, and me and my husband, we had dated for 3 years. We got married. We just decided, whatever the Lord wants, let's have a family, let's do this, right? So we just jumped right into marriage and wanted to start having a family. My grandpa got really sick, and then that just that just made me want to have a family faster, right? So we tried and we tried, and my body started having weird things. I wasn't having cycles. I didn't know what was happening. We started doing all the things you do for infertility. We tried for a year. They tell you try for a year before you go in. So we tried for a year, then we went in, and my OB tried to help me. We did all the stuff leading up to that, the Clomid, the tracking of cycles. Didn't work. And in between each of these steps, it was heartbreaking for me. And so each one of these action things I was trying to move forward, it was hard. And so I would take a break in between each one, and I'd set goals that I knew that I could achieve. I knew I didn't want to get a college degree, but I knew I could get one. And so in one of my breaks, I got a college degree. We'd never talked about buying a house, so newly married, but we saved up and we ended up buying a house in our break. Anyway, fast forward to where are we? This is a long journey I'm trying to go through. But we end up at the path of IVF. And this was a really hard choice for me. I didn't have that knowledge that it was going to be the right choice for us right away. So we took a long break, moved into our house, did all the things. I had 2 jobs. I called it my furniture fund that turned into my fertility fund. And I just would save. We finally received that answer that this is it. This is the time. It's time. Take that action. So we went into IVF before we decided, no matter how many embryos we get, it just feels right for us that we're going to use all of them. We're going to give every single one of them a chance at life because we've worked so hard and it just felt right for us. So we went into egg retrieval with that mindset, and we retrieved 37 eggs. That's pretty big. If you've ever been through infertility, that's a lot. So me and Jeff were like, wow, we're going to be the new Duggars. Yeah, we were really thinking that. And then we get the fertility call, the fertilization call they give you certain calls each time. Our final number, they told us 6. And then they called us back the next day. You actually have another pull through, so you have 7. We were ecstatic. This was what we had hoped for. We went through our first frozen embryo transfer. We transferred 2 to up our chances. They tell you, we didn't do any genetic testing, so they tell you, transfer 2, you don't know how your body's going to take. Well, I knew how my body was going to take. I knew I was going to have twins. Don't ask me how. Ever since I was a teenager, I knew I was going to have twins. So it worked. We had twin girls. The pregnancy was perfect. Everything was amazing. Twin girls, Vera and Ava. It was an amazing experience. But what I learned through all of that was that A is for action. It was hard. Those were some of my hardest days. Infertility, you feel alone. You feel forgotten. You feel left behind. You feel all of these things that you never anticipate feeling. And what I learned was, I'm grateful that I had Calamity. Get lost in service. Tia was a godsend to me then. She always has been, but Calamity. I was able to use my passion and serve. Gratitude. I had a grateful journal a jar that I put out on my counter, and every time I walked by, I had little pieces of paper. I'd write down what I was grateful for. And then action goals. Goals I knew that I could achieve. And that helped me to strengthen that faith. Impact is 2 forces working together to create a whole, right? Where are my 27-year-olds at? Woo! Hey, yeah, 27, I love it. At 27, COVID had hit. And I was scared, right? When we're choosing faith, we're choosing faith over fear every time. Faith is the antidote to fear. So COVID hit, and I saw the impact that had. For negative, right? It instilled fear in everyone. Tia was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. I felt shattered. I had a moment, and I'm not proud, but I had a moment, and I prayed. I said, Heavenly Father, why? You can't do this. You can't. But I was able to see Tia. You know what she did? She never gave up. She put her faith into action. She smiled. She danced. She did all she could. So I was able to see the impact of choosing faith. Those two impacts at age 27 changed my life. Forever. And it prepared me for a spiral of the next events that were to happen in my life. But I is for impact. Takes two to create that internal calm. That's what we want, right? The internal calm. T, the ring finger here, is for trust. Trust. T is for trust. Where are my 29-year-olds? Any 29-year-olds? Yeah! At 29, I had done another frozen embryo transfer. We transferred 2 again. They both took. I was pregnant with twin boys. Yes, twin boys this time. We were ecstatic. We were 4 for 4 for our embryos. That's a miracle in itself. If you know anything about infertility, unheard of, right? So, I was pregnant, 6 months pregnant with them. I was huge. I was enjoying every second of it, honestly, right? But I had a dream. And that dream, I was in the operating room. You deliver in the operating room with twins. I was in the operating room. I was on the table. I saw the bright light right above me. And there were nurses, doctors all around me, running around frantically. I knew I was hemorrhaging, and I knew I was going to die. I woke up from that dream in tears. Something was different about this dream. This was serious. It was an out-of-body experience. I told Jeff about it right away, and we both cried, and we were scared. Took a few minutes, and then we knew this is to teach us something. This is to prepare us for something. So let's get me some life insurance. It's time to start talking serious stuff, babe. I'm not joking. So we did all that we could to prepare for this, just in case, right? I go into the hospital. It's time to deliver the boys. I'm 38 weeks in 1 day with 2 huge twin boys, and I'm in the hospital. Everything's going wrong. Wrong. But I finally delivered them vaginally. They came out. They were healthy. There was no complications with them. I was good. And we went back to the room, started prepping to move to the next room. As we're moving up, I'm feeling sharp pains and gushing. And they're in the middle of the exchange, my nurses, and I'm like, hey, is this supposed to be hurting like this right now? And she's like, oh, just a minute. I'm like, no, it feels like blood's gushing. So we do the whole thing. I'm hemorrhaging. They take me down to the operating room. I'm on the operating table. I see the dream. And I know this is a moment. I'm gonna die. But what I didn't know is that trust I put in the Lord had prepared me for this moment. It was a unique situation. I had the opportunity to choose whether or not I had a hysterectomy to save my life. Had I not had that dream and trusted that dream, I would have chosen to not have that hysterectomy because I wanted all those babies. I wanted to bring all those babies in the world. How could I do that without a uterus, right? We trusted the dream, we trusted our feelings, and we went forward with faith. So T is for trust. H, I could say is for Hannah. Because it is. Hannah is my 5th baby. Yeah, you're probably wondering, how the heck did you have another baby? Wow, he is a God of miracles. He is a God God of miracles. H is for Hannah. Hannah means grace. When you give all that you have to faith, guess what? He makes up the rest. Every time. I've seen it in Tia's life. I've seen it in my mom's life. I've seen it in countless people around me, their life. I've seen it in my own life. So, back to how I had Hannah. Not even a month after the boys, that was a really hard recovery. I was not even near feeling anything, really. My sweet mother-in-law, that's what I call her, she's here today. She came to me and she expressed that she'd been having these promptings, that she should carry a baby for us. Our initial thought is like, what? That's not possible. No way. And then it's like, there's no way we're letting you do that for us. That's a beautiful thought. Thank you so much. We're touched, but we can't do that. Miracle after miracle. Giving all that we had, guess what? It was possible. She was a perfect candidate. Her uterus was perfect. Her health was perfect. I use that word because that's the word every doctor said when we were going through. Just learning, seeing, taking the next right step for us that felt right, and trusting that we would give all we got, and Heavenly Father and our Savior, they would come through for us. It worked. We transferred one embryo. It took. Hannah took. That's 5, if you're counting. 5 out of our 7 embryos that have worked. She had a perfect pregnancy. She even looked perfect. You can look for yourself. She's right back there in the red. Everyone say She had a perfect pregnancy. She had a perfect delivery without pain meds. She didn't take time after. I'm like, what? She's incredible. But I learned that when you give all that you have in your faith, wherever that is, faith, it can be found and lost in a single second. Yet, it should be something that we cherish and hold so dear to our heart, but share with everyone freely. It's a complex thing, right? But it can start anywhere, at any time. Real quick, faith, feelings, action, impact, trust, and Hannah, grace. Thank you guys. I hope that we'll all choose to be